Okay, let's keep going on because the PSYOP is really, really continuing on. And here's a reminder. This is similar to what we're hearing now, isn't it? Paul Ryan in 2022, former Speaker of the House when Trump first came into office in 2016. Paul Ryan says Trump most likely won't be the Republican nominee in 24 and claims that if he is, Republicans will have no chance of winning the general election. He hates Trump, him and the McConnell wing of the party. The question is, guys, how much do these guys still influence a good bit of Republicans in the Senate and influencers, conservative influencers? You better believe with that Koch brothers money and other money still floating behind the Republicans, the Bush wing of the party, there's still a lot of influence there. And this is what they were psyoping us with before, that Trump won't be the nominee, and if he is, they'll still no chance of winning the election. Well, what is the kind of this is a demoralization campaign to get us to not vote for Trump, to not trust Trump. Well, I'm showing you this to remind you that this always is happening, and it's coming from our side, especially against Trump. And now let's get into how it's happening now. Shawn Ryan. I've never called out Shawn Ryan before. I usually ignore him. Tough dude, podcaster. Does some in-depth stuff with, he loves going into Intel talks and, he interviews a lot of people. He's one of the biggest podcasts in the world. He had to do his whole spiel on Bondi yesterday. And he came and ranted. I'm not going to play it, but he says the false quote that everybody's been attributing to Bondi that she never said. And that is the quote that if the Epstein stuff comes out, the whole government will collapse. That quote keeps spinning around, attributed to Bondi, and she never said it. To his credit, he came out today and said, I was wrong. She never said that. But he doubled down on the Epstein files and how bad they are for the cover-up, how bad the cover-up is. So Shawn Ryan is now jumping in. Well, it's a good time to remember that Shawn Ryan is the one who had Hunter Biden on, tried to humanize him, make him look normal. He's friends with Gavin Newsom and Khanna. How can we trust this guy? How can we trust his judgment? To me, as he takes a break from his podcast and films himself out in the woods.
What was the excuse?
Taking a walk. I just got some thoughts. So angry about what's going on. You know what this is? This is how you get the feeling with an audience that this is important. Guys, today I'm taking a break from my regular show. I just have some real thoughts. This is a big deal. This is how they take themselves off their platform and they look at their audience in the eyes, personalize it. Let's have a one-on-one talk because this is so important. And what I'm seeing is another asset deployed. Jordan Sather calling it out. I think there's a major demoralization campaign being waged against the Patriot America First community, and I don't think it's organic. I wonder why. Maybe because it's coming from everywhere and because there's so few people actually looking through the noise, actually trying to break through it and say what's actually happening. It's all the same talking points. Cover up, lying about the Bondi quote, the Epstein class, as Thomas Massie's stuff was floating around. It's all the same stuff. But the problem is what they keep running into is they don't have any evidence to support it. All they have is redactions. Have you noticed they haven't spoken about redactions all week? It's because Khanna and Massie screwed that all up last week. They thought they had a big gotcha, and it blew up in their face when they outed those four poor guys who had nothing to do with Epstein at all. Were just part of a lineup. And they outed them as if it was a big deal, and it blew up in their face. So much so that Mark Halperin, who, just a decent reporter. I like his show, even though I strongly disagree with so much of what he says. But he does some excellent reporting on certain things. And one of them is his reporting on the coming nominations for the Democrats. And Ro Khanna was one of the main people. Well, he just released his new rankings today, and Ro Khanna is completely off the board as a top 8 candidate for the Democrats, all because of screwing up with the Epstein stuff. It's coming to bite them. And Ro Khanna wanted to be president. I'll tell you that right now. Now, Christopher Rufo. Excellent. Does excellent work. He's one of the main reasons DEI is dying in America, because of his journalism. And he decided to deep dive Nick Fuentes. Well, let's do this tweet first. He does a story on Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes captivated the media with his hyperreal Nazi routine beneath the spectacle, something much darker accumulated around him: betrayal, pedophilia, suicide, murder. Welcome to the freak world of Nick Fuentes. It's all coming out, guys. People are actually doing the work. This is going to spread like wildfire. Now, Milo's been calling this out for a while. I've been calling it out. The Fuentes freaks have come after me. But here's a fun one, because this destroys, and I'm not going to go through the whole story today, but this absolutely destroys the Groyper narrative of their hero, Nick Fuentes, because one of their great enemies, Peter Thiel, this is one of the great enemies. And I'm not saying Peter Thiel is a good dude. Okay. Obviously he had some Epstein ties that are shady. Palantir, all that. Although Palantir's not all powerful like so many people think it is. But the Whitney Webbers of the world, she's a fraud too. She's either a fraud or an idiot, just because she's so black-pilled. I don't know what shit is, but either way, she's wrong. But the point is her work on Peter Thiel has become one of the religion points of the Groyper movement. It is one of the main totems, the columns holding up the movement. It's like, this is a mainstay of our movement. Peter Thiel, technocrat. These people are evil. Palantir is going to destroy the nation. Trump's bad because he talks to the tech guys. Rufo found this. Before Fuentes started criticizing Peter Thiel, he arranged a meeting with one of Thiel's employees in Miami and asked the billionaire to fund his podcast and political operation. Really, Nick? Yeah, I thought he was the devil. But you were really, really happy to take that money, weren't you, buddy? And then when you got rejected, when you weren't even important enough to be paid attention to, that's when you went rogue on Thiel, when you went full ham on him. Wow. It's amazing. It's amazing when you see this stuff come to light. We are just seeing again and again, man, how fake these people are. Fuentes is a total fraud. I believe he's a Fed. But even if he's not a Fed, he's a fraud. And the Groypers hate me for saying it because I am right. And I don't know what they're going to have to say about this one. So those Fuentes worshipers who end up watching this video at some point, I'd love to hear your explanation for this one. Oh, Rufo's lying. Really? This dude has A+ credentials on his work. A+. I really don't think he would publish this in a lie. So we're exposing him. But Fuentes is a big one because Fuentes is part of the we're real America first, along with Marjorie Taylor Greene, along with a lot of the Bannon crew, Robert Barnes especially. He's a big one. Along with Dave Smith and the Libertards. There's a whole lot of these people that we're the real America first. And all they've been doing is trying to destroy MAGA and what Trump's accomplishing. Out them all. Ro Khanna today props up Rich Barris. These are the kind of things I look for. You don't do stuff like this. You just don't. Now, is it possible Ro Khanna just saw Rich Barris's tweet? Rich Barris is one of the main Bannon guys. People's Pundit, my bad. One of the main guys. Large data pool, big data pool. Hated by Democrats, are supposed to be. He supposedly hates Democrats and rhino Republicans, always calling them out. Big MAGA guy, Rich Barris. Well, Barris has been crazy on the demoralization train lately on the Trump stuff and calling out what's coming for the midterms, Republicans. Some of it true, some of it just way overboard. But for Ro Khanna to call him out and saying People's Pundit calls balls and strikes, I'm sure he disagrees with a lot of what I stand for. He's spot on below. And this is the tweet. Calling out Trump, saying Trump was outmaneuvered by Massie and Ro Khanna, who forced it via petition process to circumvent leadership. Trump and the White House were attempting to pressure Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mason, Boebert to not support the petition. He was beaten. Was he? Because Rich, the Senate was going to vote it down until Trump said, let's release them all. Why is he leaving that part out? Why is he just joining the Massie Ro Khanna train? I don't know, guys. Stuff is getting crazy. I don't want Rich to be bad. I like Rich. I've listened to his show a lot. He was one of the main people I listened to leading up to the election. His stuff was excellent. But in the last 6 weeks, he has completely turned into somebody who, if you listen to him, you believe this Trump administration is a complete and utter failure. They are breaking promises. They're going to lose everything. It's already lost. He hasn't accomplished anything yet. That's what Rich Barris has been touting. Sometimes guys, you're a sleeper agent and you don't turn until it's time. Can't say for sure if that's Rich or if he's just lost his damn mind. But I'm telling you, it's looking worse and worse all the time. Ro Khanna is one of the worst. Then we get this exposure today. Krasenstein, total liberal influencer. I would never give him the time of day. Except for he just got busted posting his conservative group account post on the wrong account. And this guy, Brian Krasenstein, listen to this. I was one of Trump's biggest supporters. I defended him through everything. This is not true. He's always hated Trump. Media text. I stuck by him because I believe he was different. I believe he was going to drain the swamp. That was the whole point. He campaigned on it, exposing, protecting kids. I bought it fully. Do you understand what this is showing us, guys? This is showing us that if it's him, it's going to be 100,000 others on the Democratic side. Burner accounts. Because this is an accident. He posted this on the wrong X account. This means a lot of the uproar you're hearing on social media is actually operatives using burner accounts, bots or frauds like this guy. And he just got busted. So how much of this discussion, when I post something calling out Thomas Massie and I get 10 comments saying, how dare you? Oh, you're Israel, blah, blah, blah. You're total shill. You're like, Trump betrayed us. How many of those are this and not real at all? I would say it's probably a good portion of them. The PSYOP guys, there are cracks everywhere and it is in full force. And now we're getting Marjorie Taylor Greene calling out Q. But wait a second. After the Epstein files just came out, we've had Bill Maher say the Q stuff was right, apologize. Where do I apologize to him? He said. We have the largest streamer in the world, Asmongold, saying Q is right. Holy crap, Q is right. We have Mario Nawfal, one of the biggest accounts on X News, saying I mocked the Q stuff and now it's correct. And guess what? As this is all coming out, as people are like, oh my God, the Q stuff was right all along. As if on Q, you see what I did there? As if on Q, Marjorie Taylor Greene has to go into go mode and shoot this down. She responding to Patriotic Blonde, who's a total hack. Correct. When they intentionally post Q nods, she's saying the Trump administration intentionally posts Q nods and laughs about how MAGA eats it up. Wake up, you've been brainwashed. Now, does that even sound plausible to you? That Trump just has the time to sit back on his social media account and be like, here's a Q proof. Ha ha ha. The hundreds of times they've done it. You really think that sounds like something President Trump's got time to do? Does President Trump sound to you like somebody who trolls his own base? Has he ever shown any indication of that at all? Because that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene wants us to believe. Funnily enough, right after all the Epstein files came out proving most of the stuff posted by Q correct, especially all the stuff about the pedophiles and the cabal. What timing on this? MJ Truth cuts it down perfect. Says, according to MTG, Trump is tone deaf about the Epstein issues and laughs at us Q-tards behind our back. LOL. Well, hey, anything can be true at this point, but what's really, really true, I know for a fact, is the effect this has on everybody. After covering Trump for many years, learned he really is a master at setting traps, manipulating the left and the MSM to report on things they otherwise would not report on. Virtually zero coverage during Obama and Biden's presidencies. The only POTUS to turn the heat up to max was Trump by telling everyone to stop looking. It's a hoax. It amplifies something called the Streisand effect on both sides. 100%. 100%. Jordan Sather. Logging more demoralization examples. Notable messaging now consists of attacking Q as well. It is, isn't it? Isn't that funny how it all comes out after all this validation? Patriotic Blonde came out of nowhere online over the past year or two. She's one of the biggest TDS patriots out there. True. And she just blew up for no reason. Not surprised to see MTG repost her, and then Patriot Voice also, QAnon John repost them both. All people who've done a 180 in recent months. Why? Why a 180? You guys who've been here a while know I have followed the Trump stuff as close as anybody. I called the election. I called J.D. Vance as his partner. I called how big he'd win. I called the House. I called the Senate. I've called several things that Trump has accomplished. I told you guys these things were going to happen, not because I read Q posts, not because I have some crystal ball, none of that, but because I trust Trump and I understand him and how he's working. That's it. And it's proven me right time and time and time again. What do we like to joke about here? That I'm 96.7% right most of the time. You know, so many predictions come true. The Trump Russia stuff, the Putin stuff, we keep seeing that coming out. I mean, I've called so many things. It's because I trust Trump. That's it. And I understand him. And so all this time, all this Trump stuff, it's come to this. And all these other people who are supposed to be the ones closest to Trump, who have been wrong about so much, they're supposed to be now telling us what to think about all this when we've been winning like crazy. Think about it this way, guys. If you are disappointed right now, if you're disappointed, if you're struggling with your vote for Trump or that the Trump administration has been a disappointment to you, despite all that's happened in the last year, which is more than any president's done in 1 year ever, despite all that, if you're disappointed with Trump, ask yourself, if this Epstein thing hadn't even been a thing, if it just didn't exist, how much would that change? How much would that change your opinion right now? If the answer is a lot, then you have been psyoped. You bought in. Because it's taking all the attention away from all the accomplishments. The other major psyop that's hurt the Trump administration, the popularity at least a little bit, is Israel, which that's another huge psyop right there, because Trump obviously, I mean, I've given 100 examples of how he constantly turns Netanyahu down, how he constantly doesn't give Netanyahu what he wants. Those are the two big ones. So if you're disappointed in Trump and you believe those two things, and those are the reasons you're disappointed in him, you've been psyoped. You bought it. You let it get to you. The good news is you can wake up. The good news is you can see the light. That we are advancing America first. We are getting our sovereignty back. We are rebuilding our country in ways that are miraculous. It's a miracle what's happening. It really is. Demoralization campaign reaching a fever pitch. Alex Jones platforming Robert Barnes and Kyle Seraphin yesterday. Seraphin is such a fraud. Barnes, I mean, I've been calling out Barnes for a while now, but Seraphin I don't talk about it a lot because I don't watch Infowars, but he's awful. He's been wrong about so much. Two patriot truth tellers who to me glow from outer space. Infowars is always reeked of controlled opposition. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at this. There's Alex Jones posting. Top FBI whistleblower responds to Pam Body's DOJ trying again to sucker the American people into believing that all the Epstein files have been released. Oh my God. They also examined Epstein documents to reveal the Trilateral Commission operative. Barnes. President Trump will forever be known as the Epstein president if he does not stop the cover-up now. Come on. This stuff is so stupid. It's so ridiculous. I just drives me insane. How do you guys? How does anybody still trust these people? I just don't get it.